everyone, and welcome to the 34th edition of Bodhi Stree Dialogues. I'm Aditi, and I'm so pleased to welcome you all on this glorious Monday afternoon. Happy New Year to everybody. And for those of you who may be joining for the first time, welcome to the tribe. At Plugage, we believe that empowering women must go beyond celebrating just a date. Hence, Bodhi Stree Dialogues kicked off a monthly celebration of learning for women on the 8th of April, 2021. Over the past 3 years or so, we've brought women from different sectors and backgrounds, for example, social impact, healthcare, education, environment, fashion, STEM, together in one place to build perspective and to help women discover the Shakti within. And this month, we are so excited to welcome over here Pragya Prasun, where she will be taking us through her journey and her life in conversation with Deepa Bhalerao. And we'll be discussing, and today's topic is Resilience and Renaissance, a story of survival and triumph. Thank you so much, Pragya ji, for joining us. And over to you, Deepa ji.
Namaste, Pragya, and namaste to everyone. On behalf of Plugage and Bodhi Stree Dialogues, it is a great privilege to be here and to speak to one of the one of the women I have always admired and looked up to. And it's such a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to host her as our first Bodhi Stree for 2024. And once you hear her, you will know why I was so excited for this conversation. So welcome, Pragya. This is at Bodhi Stree, we want to celebrate all the women who show us the light, and what better person could do this for us at the beginning of the year and start off Bodhi Stree with a bang. So thank you for joining us, and thank you everyone else who has logged into our program. We are looking forward to all of you listening in and also asking questions as and when they come to your mind. I would just like to tell you all before I start that if you have questions, please keep them with you and put them in the chat box, because we would really like the conversation to get over so that we don't miss anything from what we have planned to present to you. And as and when questions occur to you, please keep them aside, put them in the chat box, and we will take them as soon as our conversation is over. So thank you very much. Some of you who have logged in might have read the introduction, but I will just say a few words anyway. Pragya is an advocate for women's rights, and she has dedicated herself to providing relief and rehabilitation to acid attack survivors for more than a decade now. She's the founder of the Atijeevan Foundation, and here she goes beyond surgeries and does work like training survivors in crafts and vocational skills, raising awareness about burn-related issues, and more. Her work, of course, has been recognized on many platforms. There is a multitude of prizes she's won, but the most notable among which is the Nari Shakti Award. In 2019, she was felicitated at the hands of the Honorable President of India. So welcome once again, Pragya. We are extremely honored. We would like you to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you so much for your kind introduction, Deepaji. It's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you.
Lovely. We started with a conversation, Pragya, and I'm so happy that now we are taking the conversation which just happened between you and me and one more person, which had left me deeply impressed, is now happening for a lot of people, and now we get to share your story with everyone. So welcome again. And let's take it step by step, because we won't want to miss out any detail. So I would like to start at the beginning, like we like to know, because we know that everything that is special about a person starts really early, long before they're even aware of who they are. So tell us a little bit about your childhood and some of the fond memories you have of your childhood. We want to know what made you the person.
So, whatever we are made, we are, it's always our childhood, which plays a very big role in that. And of course, the parents and, our parents and upbringing. So I was born and brought up in Dhanbad. My father was in Coal India, so he had a transferable job. So but we stick to one school there, and we did our schooling from Dhanbad. Um, yeah, the early childhood, was amazing. I still have very fond memories of my school, of what I did during those times, and I still keep sharing so many things to my daughters now that हमारे ज़माने में ऐसा होता था हमारे टाइम में. So yeah, and raised by a very proud parents. I was like I am the eldest of four siblings, and I was born 8 years after their wedding, after their marriage. So, yes, I can say I was very specially treated in my childhood, uh, and being the eldest at a very early years, at a very early age, uh, I became very responsible. Uh, yeah, I can say that, and yeah, my three siblings are now, you know, two of them are staying very like in the same city, Bangalore. So yeah, it's been an amazing childhood. Uh, More than that, being brought up with the parents who have always been kind to everyone around them, and seeing them full of emotion and kindness for everyone around them was something which I learned at very early age. And giving back to the community and to the people who are less privileged was not something out of, it was not a hobby, was an obligation that you have to do that. So that was always there in our upbringing, and we have always seen that. So that has always inspired and influenced me to do more for everyone around me, and to be helpful for in whatever way I can.
I think that goes a lot to say, how you have chosen to lead your life now, because our values come to us in childhood, and it's very clear where you're getting yours from. A happy family is something which allows you for good memories to always dip into whatever else happens to you in your life. So that's a beautiful thing you said, that as an obligation and not as something you do because sometimes. So tell us, Pragya, what was your what have you taken your education in? What was your career path as you chose it?
Yeah, so I wanted to do a lot of things. My first dream was to become a doctor. And then, I realized that I cannot pursue science, further. And then, I was inclined towards fashion. And yeah, but in between, because I did not get through NIFT after 12th, I had to do my graduation, which I did in economics major, and then I pursued fashion management in my post graduation. Um, and yeah, and so I did my graduation from Banaras Hindu University, and then my post graduation from Pearl Academy of Fashion. And yeah, immediately when I completed my post graduation, I got engaged and married to my husband the very same year. So yeah, this is
You were very, I mean, you had your post graduation before you got married, and I'm sure you're all set to start your career. And you were just 23 when you got married, right? Very young. Well, it's a nice way, and you think about how what you're looking forward to, what life holds. I mean, that is a time when you're so full of dreams. But then something happened at that time, just after you got married, which changed the course of your life. And we would like to know more about that. We know that we would like to tell you that this is a safe space, although I know you must have spoken about it many times. But we are here to listen, and because we really appreciate what you do, but we want to know where it started. So, while knowing that it will be painful to you, we'll be very grateful if you can share some details with us.
So I was acid attacked 12 days after my wedding. And trust me, when I got married to my husband, I was the most happiest person on the earth. It was the time that, I had everything in my hands. I I was just about to start my career in fashion management, and then I got married to the most wonderful guy I had ever known, and just about to start my new life in a new city, and I was traveling from Varanasi, my hometown, where I came 12 days after my wedding from my in-laws' place, and I had to travel back to Delhi for my campus placement. And on the very same day when I was supposed to travel, my grandfather died. And I was very reluctant that, I didn't want to travel, but, then my parents told that, this is very important for you, the placement, and, we'll take care of the things here. But you just travel, you just go. And, I traveled alone on that night, and while I was sleeping in on my bed, at midnight, you know, I jolted out with burning sensation over my whole body. Around it was around 2 a.m. when this gifted person who wanted to marry me uh, got very furious when I got married to someone like I wanted to. And he threw acid on me while I was sleeping in the train. And I just jumped out of my bed, and I could only see fumes coming out of my body and hands. I was not at all aware what is this, what he has put on my body, which is so much burning, and there are fumes coming out. But and I just started screaming that it's burning, and listening to me and seeing fumes coming out. All the co-passengers, they ran away from that compartment, and nobody came to help me at that point of time because they also were clueless what is happening. And hearing that it's burning, they thought that there is fire somewhere, right? And they just ran away. And somebody out of that panic, somebody pulled that pulled chain of that train, and you know. Then after when the chain was pulled, there was a doctor in another coach who was traveling, and when she asked some passenger, and she was told that there is a girl who is burning in another coach, she ran towards me with a blanket. When she saw me, she realized that it's an acid attack. Somebody has put some chemical on her. And the first thing what she did was, she came towards me, and she covered my body with her white dupatta. By that time, all my clothes had got melted away, and I was almost with no clothes on half of my body. So she covered my body with a dupatta, and she took me towards the toilet area of the train, and then she started putting water on me. And there was another girl who was watching all this. She really wanted to help me, but she couldn't figure out how to help me. And then she asked that girl to, start putting water on me. And one thing which the doctor told me was, don't open your eyes. The acid might go inside your eyes and might harm you. So I kept my eyes closed till the time, I opened it 2 days later on a ventilator. And so, that that was it. And she was the one who called, the railway police and the ambulance. And, she also informed my parents to come to, so and so station. And yeah, and that's how my life was saved. And her words of, telling me, don't open your eyes, and keep, she kept on talking to me so that I don't go unconscious, right? Those were the things which I believe saved my life, saved my eyes. I lost vision in one of my eyes, but fortunately, I have vision in one of my eyes. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very, very grateful to her, and I've always been very grateful for, second life. I owe that to her.
This is so moving. Even listening to you, I don't know, there are no words, because just you're you're speaking about it after so many years, and yet it puts a chill down our spines. I speak for all of us who are listening in. It must have been the worst possible, and without any idea. It was 2 a.m., you must be sleeping. And I'm sure it was a reserved compartment. How did someone get in? I mean, these are all questions later on. But that brings me to my next question. First of all, thank you for sharing, Pragya. I know this cannot be easy, because one is somebody who commits a crime, and the other is the victim who has no clue what's happening, and they have to deal with the effects of it. And I'm sure that that has left with, of course, it's made you stronger, but there has been so much that you have probably, and you continue to, deal with day after day, and not knowing why it happened to you. At the same time, it's so touching to see that instead of focusing on what happened to you, you're choosing to focus on the person who helped you. That says a lot about you. And I'm sure there are always angels walking around, waiting to help you, whatever the reasons. And we are very grateful for this lady who gave you the right. One, she was there, and secondly, she helped you. And may everyone who goes through such difficulties have someone to, guide them.
Absolutely. It really makes a difference,
It does, because you have no idea what's happening. It could be fire, it could be anything, and then of course people panic, run away, etc. I just wanted to ask you, because now that you have this, my next question is about, now that you spoke to us and you actually gave a first person account, you only hear about it, you don't really know the details. So, what are the kind of challenges that a victim of an acid attack, like you have gone through one, what are the challenges that are being faced? Physical, of course, but if you can tell us a little more so that all of us know what it is. Empathy is only built with knowledge, and it's important that we know what happens. Many times it's we only hear about a person and about their strengths, but we also need to know what is it that the person has to cope with. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
See, I can tell through my own story that, what are the challenges, and how I have tried coping up with it. But at the same time, I have been very, very fortunate to have a supportive family, right? My parents were to do enough to get my surgeries in a private hospital, because these are the things, especially in the area of burns, the treatment is very, very expensive. People tell that other treatments are so expensive. Burns, acute burn treatment is so expensive, it cannot be done in a private hospital. None of the well-to-do family people also cannot do, because it's in lakhs and lakhs, and you don't know the limit there. So starting with the acute burn phase, the wound healing, and the whole wound healing time, and getting the dressing every alternate day or 2 days or 3 days, you know uh, it's very, very painful. It's like, somebody, you are awake and somebody is ripping off your skin from your body. That is how the dressing every alternate or every 2 days feels like, for your own body, right? Somebody, when they take out off your dressing, a part of your skin comes out, and there's so much of bleeding, and it's so painful, and you have to go through it till the time all your wounds are healed. So and it can take months and months. For me it took 5 months for the initial wound to heal. And after 5 months also, I uh, there were wounds which had not healed, so doctor had to do grafting for those areas. They also did grafting in my third month for a couple of areas because my wounds were not healing. These are like 4-degree burns, and it takes months and months of time to heal. So here I would like to add that there is something called skin donation, where with this donated skin, the duration of the healing becomes much shorter. I can say half. So this is something which is very very helpful. Which gives a lease of life to any burn patient. So and once the wound heals, there are scars across your body, the whole affected area. And not only the scars, there's contractures which restrict the movement of your joint areas. For that, you need lot of physiotherapy. You need to do a lot of massage around that area, thrice or 5 times a day. And then you need to take care of that area for the next few years, because the area will keep on contracting, and your uh, body part or that joint will become non-functional. So you need to do physiotherapy, continue your physiotherapy and massages for a couple of years after that. And it is very very tiring for any patient, not only the patient but also the family,
Family.
right? Because when I had to go through dressing, my mother used to hold me, and I used to scratch her hands in pain, because I need to hold some things, and it was only her hand which I could get hold of, and I used to just press it like anything, scratch her hands in pain, and she had to bear it. uh, uh, I, I had I was supposed to have high protein diet, and at in that pain I didn't wanted to eat anything. And it happens with all the patient, they don't want to eat anything, and your family convincing you, and you are just crying and throwing the food, and you just want everything, your family bears it all. And if you don't have support from your family, you won't be able to recover. You need someone that who provides that kind of support to you. It can be
The
your
strength that you need at that
yeah, the
time.
strength
Yes.
that you need to overcome that pain. And because acid attack is something which always most of the time happens around your face, and your destroys your appearance, and
Yes.
the look, you eventually lose your identity. When you see the mirror, you are not anymore the same person you
Person
were
that you
few days
used to
back.
see.
When you go out, people don't recognize you with your old face.
Yes.
There were times, on the airport where where I saw my old friend, and I
Mm,
waved,
mm.
and she didn't recognize me. And that
That
was
used
the
to be.
moment I realized that I'm not the same Pragya. It's like I look different, and that might she might have not recognized me.
Right.
uh, and then whenever you go out, or meet someone, some children, the, people get scared, people get curious, people keep asking you questions. Sometimes you feel like answering, sometimes you don't feel like answering them. People always pity on you, but this is something really bad happens. you don't want that bitterness always around you, right?
True,
So,
true. Not all the time. Yeah.
not all the time. So, but there are things you keep facing every day for rest of your life, and this is something going inside and around you. But the family members, they have to go through legal battle, they have to go through all the societal, taunts, everything,
They're dealing with another aspect
yeah,
altogether when you're healing.
uh, and all kind of sarcastic taunts,
People.
who will marry a girl, she is a waste, she could, it would have been good that she would have died, uh, you know, uh,
Yes.
and, your girl must have done something wrong, then only this happened to you. You are not doing puja, then that's why it
Oh,
is happening to you. There's so many things, and people, the society keep on uh, giving you all sort of suggestions that you do this, you do that. Why don't you get your plastic surgery done? How do I make them understand that this is the best any plastic surgeon could have done to my face?
yeah, yeah.
Because this is not something what you see in the movies, that
True.
you get your face back or
Mm.
you become more beautiful,
Or
right?
some other face which they show,
Yeah.
some bizarre stuff.
Yeah, so in burns, with burns, that too with 4-degree burns, it doesn't happen. Even if your vital organs are at its place till the
Mm,
time
mm.
you can say that you are saved, and you live your life happily. And that kind of acceptance is very, very important when you go through all this, not only for the patient, but also to the family, that, see, my daughter is going to look like this, and, this is how we need to lead our life.
It's a, I, again, as I said, you've left me speechless. Sure, our listeners also. There isn't, and you said it in, I mean, such a matter of fact way. I cannot even begin to imagine at that tender age when you were supposed to start working, you just got married. The last thing on your mind is healing and hospital visits and surgeries. And yet you dealt with all this, which must have gone on for more than a year, I think, maybe a couple of years. Um, it's enough to turn anyone bitter. It's enough to turn anyone off living. It's enough to turn anyone negative for the rest of their life. And yet here you are. Um, I mean, before I spoke, I heard your voice before I actually met you, and I remember it was one of the interviews that has stayed with me because it was a Skype interview for all the listeners, and this was around 2014. Pragya was very sweet. We were writing a script on an acid attack victim, and she was very, very, gracious to share her story and all the questions that the scriptwriter had. And that's how we got to know about small details, very intricate details. And the first thing that stuck with me, and as I always tell Pragya, has stayed with me was the gentleness of her voice. Something small happens, and we have people raging and angry, and it spills out of their personality, their voice. And I saw nothing of that. That was 10 years ago. It was much closer to the time that you had been hurt. And yet, that quiet, that calm, that grace, there's no other word for it but grace that you handle it with. Um, what makes you what you are? What made you turn your worst possible nightmarish experience into a strength? How does one do that? Because most of us are defeated by minor, non unimportant issues. And something so big, and you've been through so much, and here you are, I don't even want to have to describe. You just have to Google her name and check out what else she's done. How does that happen? And can you tell us about how did you do this? Because most of the time, it's only negativity, bitterness, and sadness, and why me, and a rage against the rest of the world that you see mostly. What makes a Pragya?
So I won't deny that I was not into that phase, that why me. and why this happened to me. Definitely I was, but I can say that, I come out of that very early while I was, getting treated for my initial wound uh, in a government hospital, because uh, there, I saw patients coming inside, and I was in a burns ward full of, 150 bed of burns ward, and full of patients, and patients coming from all different other states, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Delhi, NCR. I was in Delhi Safdarjung Hospital, and patients coming from all parts of the nearby area, and most of them were women. Uh, Getting inside the hospital, I was able to see them. When I was shifted to Burns ward, initially I was in ICU for 17 days, and then when I was shifted to Burns ward, it was a glass. It had a glass, walls and doors, so I could see every patient around me, and I
That must have added to the stress, right? Because getting into a burns ward is not for the faint-hearted at all. As
yeah.
it is, even as a therapist or a doctor anywhere, I have been there as a counselor, and we were prepared for it, especially before.
And there is a typical kind of smell of that burn wounds, and there is a typical
Skin.
smell. So right now also when I go, I get that deja vu, that the same kind of, till now I am not able to go second time in that subdivision ward, because I don't have that courage to go inside that ward and see my own room, where I stayed for 3 months. So, and every few hours or every night, I would see patients coming in with so much of burn, getting dressed, getting their dressing done, sleeping quietly after having their food. And early morning, when I used to wake up, I saw them shrouded in white cloth, taking their body out of the hospital, and every it was the scene of every night scene. Some or the other patient will die every day, every night. I would see some or the other patient dying. uh, I made friends and who were less burnt than me, and they died in front of me, after spending a couple of weeks with me, and I got to know that they got infection. Uh, they post their surgery, I got to know that they were not eating, that's why they got infection and they died. I got to know that they didn't have that courage and that will to live, and that's why they died, you know and that made me more resilient, that I am going to come out of this. I am not going to die here, and I am going to come out of this, because I was seeing my family doing all their bit to make me come out of that. And how could I you know just make all their efforts go in vain? It is not going to happen. My mother had left her house, her rest of the siblings, and rest of her, daughter,
Children. Yeah.
son, and she was just staying with me to so that I survive. And there were times I just wanted to give up on life. But how could I? My siblings were like trying everything to feed me a bite, two bites. How could I just go make all their efforts go in vain? And it's not,
And
and
you're the eldest.
and
You've
and
always
I
led the way.
yeah, yes. And then there was one thing which my mother told me, that uh, whenever I used to get furious, or whenever I used to get very unhappy, my mother used to tell that, the best revenge what you can take from someone, who want to do something bad to you is, you know, being happy. And I want you to be happy. This is something, what you can do. And this would be the best revenge for everyone who never wanted you to recover, or never wanted you to see that you are happy.
Wow.
So that stayed with me. And starting with that, and seeing all the patients around me, who were less burnt dying in front of me, everything, that made me grateful and full of gratitude for everything I had. And because I always saw the glass half full. I tell that always, because I uh, so what happened that I lost one of my eye. I still can see from
True
my
one.
another eye. What happened that I lost other, I lost one ear, I lost one eye. I cannot breathe from my nose, I still breathe from my mouth. So what happened? But I'm able to breathe. And for that, I should be very, very grateful. I have a family to call my own. I have my husband. Now I have my daughters to call my own. And for that, I am very, very grateful. What I do through Atijeevan is to make other patient realize that, what you have, you need to be very, very grateful for. And
Beautiful.
what and how I can make you achieve things what you really wanted to do in your life. And that we can do it together. So this is what I really want to be that support to each and every patient, who has their own family support, or who doesn't have their family support. So I want to be that, uh, pillar, to their life, for their life, that they can look uh, forward, and uh, they can always be sure that Didi will be there, Didi will take care. And I really want to help, because in my time, yes, my family was supportive, yes, my family was there, but I really wanted to talk to someone who had gone through similar kind of situation, or who had who could guide me and tell me that what I need to do and how I need to cope up. Because when you talk to people who have not been into similar situation, you don't connect, right?
And they
Even if,
may want to help you, but they may not know how to help you
yeah, how to
because
help.
they don't have the experience. True.
Yes, yes. So when you connect to the people who have gone through similar situation, you really feel that you are heard. You really feel that you people are understanding you. They understand you, and I lack that kind of
There
person.
was no one to tell you that,
There was
right?
no one to
However much people
talk to
wanted to help.
talk to. And that kind of one was very lonely. That kind of part was very lonely for me,
Very sad it must have been, because that's something you to deal with on your own. But what a I think this is the most inspiring piece of I can't tell you, Pragya. So inspiring. We hear about inspirations, but the way you spoke in your characteristic, gentle, kind, and quiet way is, I think, it's about some of the most inspirational words I have ever heard. Let me tell you that. I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone who's listening, because and it was just straight from the heart, so beautifully said, because everything around you, it was like being in a Holocaust, just crazy, that space, and being one of them, and people who are less affected than you are dying, which it's not easy at that young age. You're in your 20s, you're looking at very different things. So I think hats off to you. I have no words actually to say. I don't know how you have been through this, but I guess that's what resilience and renaissance is about. You literally rose like a phoenix. And then there was Atijeevan Foundation. So can you tell us about this now? Because we're very keen to know what you do and when did this start? How did this happen?
So the help, the willing to do something for burn patient started from the hospital. When I used to see, there were children, there were women, and while I was in pain, I couldn't just move on with my healing. I wanted to go to them and tell them that, see, you don't, I understand that while doing physiotherapy, it might be very painful for you, but you still need to do it just how I am doing, and because it will help you in your own healing. You need to go for dressing because it will help you in your own healing. And I could see the difference, just talking to those people around me, who were on another beds. They started having their food, and when they started doing physiotherapy along with me, that kind of uh, motivated me that see, they are listening, and for that I need to be an example. I need to show them that I am also doing physiotherapy, I am also going for a dressing, so you also go, and it will help you in your own healing. But and I was also in touch with a lot of burn patients, a lot of acid attack patients. Throughout my journey, I met a lot of them. I become friends with a lot of them, and I kept talking and guiding them. One question was always there, दीदी, आपका तो आपके पेरेंट्स करा रहे सर्जरी, हमारा कौन कराएगा प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल? आई ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू टेल देम दैट go to this private hospital, ये अच्छे डॉक्टर है, this is a good surgeon, he will do it. दीदी, कितना पैसा लगेगा, कितने पैसे लगेंगे, कौन देगा पैसे, कैसे होगा? So these were
Very important
always
questions.
the question
Yeah.
which were raised by them. And I always was clueless, now what? How can I help them for this? And these surgeries were in lakhs. So, there was no way I could help them right at that point of time. Uh, there was one turning moment in my life that, when I met Dr. Keshwani in Mumbai. And when I met him, I told that, yeah, I know so many patients. I'm guiding them, I'm helping them. Yes, they are my friends. And he asked what, like, he was just, we were just having conversation. And he was just like, he was happy to know my knowledge in the area of burns. And he told, Pragya, you know everything. You know what to do, what is the right way. Why don't you start a foundation to help rather than just guiding them, you can also help them in their surgeries, and I will support you in that. That time I got to know that yes, I can help them for their surgeries, while with starting a foundation. And Dr. Keshwani is telling me now, there in future there will be more doctors helping and doing surgeries voluntarily and like that. And that was when I came back to Bangalore, and I talked to my husband, and a couple of the volunteers, whom I had known, and that's how I started Atijeevan. And the core area of work for first few years was only taking care of their reconstructive surgeries, counseling and guiding them for their treatment for their acute burn phase, and yeah, just helping them, guiding them. But later, after 3 4 years, I realized that after the surgeries, what? After once you recover, what do you do? Because the surgery takes all your productive years of your life, all the girls who were attacked were either in their teenage or in their early 20s. So and the whole treatment takes couple of years, so 4 5 years are gone. So most productive year of your life is gone. Now what? And then there were few survivors that दीदी मेरा सर्जरी हो गया, अब मैं क्या करूं, मैं क्या कमा सकती हूँ, मैं मेरे को कहाँ जॉब मिल सकता है. And I had no answer because, being a postgraduate myself, when I tried going back to work, I was denied. I was told that you get your surgeries done, then we will see. How
Oh,
do I make them understand that this is the best I could look, right,
yeah.
through any plastic surgery? And so I had no answer for any of them. And I started, providing them with small work, training them in, making handicraft products, and so that they can earn something out of their home. Because in 2013, 14, 15, there like acid attack survivors were not under, coming under person with disability. It was only in after 2016, uh,
It's very recent, yes.
RPWD Act, Acid
Yes.
Attack Survivors came.
Mhm.
And only after 2017, there were corporates which were interested in hiring acid attack survivors. So, post that, we have been able to place more than 40 plus survivors in, IT industries, hospitality sector, and, small restaurants, cafe, and, like that. But before that, we only had one thing that, either you start your own small businesses. Yes, there are survivors now, Atijeevan's beneficiaries who are running their small Photoshop center, just a small vegetable shops, yeah, small beauty product shops. So these are the things, we started doing 10 years back to provide them some sort of employment.
That's a lot of work, Pragya, and I can tell you as a trained social worker, most of us work in one area, either it is preventive, promotive, or curative, or rehabilitative. And I can see that you have, taken the whole spectrum of work. And all of that is, of course, because of your resilience, your commitment, and the fact that your empathy is so high. I can't begin to imagine because, it's like a fight on all fronts. It's heartbreaking to know that somebody will ask you to go back and finish your surgeries. I mean, what has that got to do with working? Because as it is, you have had such a huge setback, and I mean, it's like an illness thrown upon you, which you did not ask for. So it must have been, I don't know, so many battles on so many levels. So it's just very humbling to hear that there's so much one goes through, and so like it has not broken you. It's charged, made you do so much good work in the process. I think we just overwhelmed. I actually have no words. There's difficult to say anything because this is of something very huge proportions. And what you're doing is amazing because taking up something like this is not for the faint-hearted. Again, it's very very hard
I I
effort.
I would like to say something here, Deepaji, because um, as I said that I have always seen the glass half full. I have always tried to find a solution. It's not that I've always come to dark. Uh, I didn't had any way after that, right? Blank, what to do after that. But I have always seen something, some solution can come out from any problem. We can find solution for anything and everything, and that's what I try to do in every situation. I believe when I was told that I I can go back and first get my surgeries done. Uh, I tried finding other ways to, keep myself engaged in something productive. When the girls told that they wanted to do something, they wanted to do a job, uh, while I was not able to place them in any kind of, in the industry, I found some way to, provide them some employment at their convenience, working uh, from their own house, making
Yeah.
profits from their own house, you know. So I believe we can find solution for everything if we are really willing and, having that kind of, positive attitude toward everything and anything. Because, see, for me, there was no other way than finding some solution to my problem, right? Every
It was
problem.
defeat or get over it.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I had to find a solution for everything.
Pushed, but you lived up to the challenge also. No, and how beautifully, because everything you're saying is, inspiring. We tend to get demotivated by very small things, but it's like climbing a mountain and coming out at the top. Pragya, there's some things which, and now I think this is what everyone else is feeling. And I would like to ask you that what can we, of all the women who are listening to you, and mind you, whoever's listening live, this is going to be a video which is going to be put up on our website also. So there'll be many more people watching. And I think this is a very, we would like to ask you, what can we do? Because there are many aspects to this problem. I believe it's a huge social problem. How can someone, uh, whoever it is, decide to pick up a bottle of acid and hurl it on a young girl? And basically, the idea is to, and it's usually on the face because they want to teach her a lesson, whatever. How can the prevention happen? And what are the other aspects that we can work on? We really want to know from you, because each one of us feels, I'm sure we're all inspired. We want to do something very concrete. What is it that we can do at every level?
So, regarding the prevention, each one of us can, prevent in happening more acid attacks in our country. And how we can do that? You don't need to go and become a social activist or like that. You just take one step around your area, around your lane, wherever there is any grocery store or hardware store, you know, may go there, make the shopkeeper aware about the law against the sale of acid, make them
Okay.
understand that concentrated acid is very harmful for human flesh, and how these kind of attacks are taking place because of free sale of these kind of acids, and
Right.
that concentrated acid should not be sold at retail market. Make them aware and tell them that, what is the law. You have to take identity proof from anyone who is taking more than half a liter of acid from you, and also noting down why they are taking it, for what reason they are taking it, right? Once we are being vigilant around us, the perpetrator will have second thought in buying an acid or throwing it to someone.
That they can be tracked, because usually
Yes,
this is, they
yes,
go
it can.
scot free.
He or she can be tracked, right?
Yes,
He
yes.
can be tracked back. He can be caught immediately. And he will be scared of doing it, right? Right now they are not scared because, acid is very easily available, very freely sold. So we cannot take charge of the whole city, but we can take charge of the two grocery shops in our own lane,
Neighborhood,
right?
yes. All
So
of us
just
can do that.
yeah, all of us can do that. Make the shopkeepers around you aware about it. Make the people around you aware about it.
I think
This
that's
is
a
first
very,
step of, prevention. What if everyone, each one of us can do. Second thing
absolutely.
is, make everyone aware that, if there is any kind of acid attack, or this kind of incident happens,
Mhm.
you immediately go and help the patient, right?
Very
Help
important.
the
Yeah.
victim, right? And what you can do is just keep pouring tap water on her till the burning sensation subsides. And then you can call, till the time you are putting tap water on her, you can call an ambulance, because acid burn is always of third and fourth degree burn, deep burns, and it really damages not only the layer of skin but also the tissues beyond that, right? So first the acid needs to be, from the superficial layer of your skin, it needs to be flushed out. And because the acid keep on penetrating into the skin for the next 48 hours, it immediately needs first aid, like, at the hospital. So, rather than putting any kind of what
Lotion
ointment
or
or
ointment, yeah.
cream or anything,
Yeah.
you just keep on putting fresh water, tap water, and then rush the patient to the hospital, nearest hospital. So, helping someone won't cost you anything, but it can save someone's life. It can, just how it saved one of my eye. And, I could hardly, like, I could imagine, I cannot imagine my life without a vision, right? So, it can save someone life, someone eyes, someone, you know. Uh,
True. Very, very important points, because this is most of the time like the person next to you didn't know what to do. I think it's important that this, I'm sure everyone has taken note, but we will see to it that at least each one of us will speak to people. And you were speaking also, I remember in one of our conversations about donation, because you made a small mention that, if skin is donated, what is this? Because I don't think many of us know about, we know about organ donation. What is skin donation? Is it possible, and who can do it? What about tissue donation? Is that possible too?
So, just like how we pledge to donate our organs, we can
Hmm.
also pledge to donate our skin. Skin is the largest organ in our body, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
after it can be harvested from the deceased body within 6 hours of death.
Okay.
So, unlike any other organ donation, which needs to be decided immediately, and before death,
Yes.
skin can be harvested even after within 6 hours of the death. Skin and cornea, both of
Okay.
them can be
Okay.
harvested within 6 hours of the death. Anyone who is 18 plus uh, till 90 or 100 years of age can
Wow.
also donate their skin. Uh,
Nice.
Wrinkles, anything, any scars, doesn't matter,
Okay.
anyone, and anyone can donate their skin. Uh, um, you At least you should not have any kind of skin disease or
Mhm.
hepatitis B or C.
Yeah.
uh, you can definitely donate the skin. This After the death, what you need to do is call the skin bank people.
Hmm.
A team of 2 or 3 people will come to your house, and they will harvest the skin from the thigh and lower back of your area of
Hmm.
body, deceased body.
Hmm.
And they will wrap the whole. There is no bleeding, and there is no disfigurement. What people think, they will wrap the body with bandage, around the thigh and the lower back.
Hmm.
And the whole process will take hardly 45 minutes of time, and the
Okay.
skin bank people will go. So
And
one,
one can pledge this, like one
uh,
pledges
at
eyes.
any point of your life, any point, even if someone who has not pledged, and there is a death in your family,
And
and
the family wants to do this.
the family
Yeah.
wants to donate, you can still call the skin bank people
Amazing.
and
Okay.
donate your family members
Okay.
skin and cornea as well, because these are the two things which can be donated
After that,
after the
yeah.
death, and
Okay. And
which gives you some time to think and decide that you can donate your cornea and skin.
yes.
And one single donor can save life of up to 3 burn patients. The
Goodness, this is
skin,
huge.
yeah, it can be, it takes 15 to 20 days of time to, sterilize the whole skin in the
Yeah,
skin
yeah.
bank and make ready for uh, uh,
Grafting.
grafting. And this skin can be preserved in glycerol for 5 years, up to five
Amazing.
years. And it can be used for any burn and trauma patient.
So much one can do, even after one is, this is, it's a ray of hope. Pragya, very big, because I think many times when we listen, there's a feeling of helplessness. You want to help, you feel a lot, but you don't know what to do. But I think we're so grateful that you've given us very concrete steps. And these are the things we can definitely assure you that, from our side, we will do as much as we can to spread the word. Because I think knowledge is, as you said, power. And if we know, then we can make the right decision. We did speak about, many times people say sometimes you can't donate organs because of whatever reasons. And there are people who actually feel very sad that they can't do anything with it. And many, many people are stepping up now. Families are stepping up now. So I think this is a great piece of information, and we are so grateful to you for this. I don't know. I'm just very overwhelmed and very touched. And I think this has been one of the most amazing conversations I've had. I think my takeaways are so many. But I think it's time. We've gone beyond the time. I don't think anybody seems to mind that. But I would like to open this up for questions. Please, if anybody has questions, feel free to ask. You can unmute and ask.
May I?
Yes, please go ahead. I didn't see any more questions. Any
Thank
questions
you so
in
much, Pragya, for coming over. You're living your name. Pragya is about this only. We all talk about it, we discuss it, but we have no idea what Pragya is. Having heard you with not an inch of, what should I say, uh, negativity inside is absolutely, I mean, I'm so inspired. But I have a request to help us help you. Um, First, I wanted to ask you: are there specific regions in the country where this happens on a higher note? We live in Bombay, and I come from the north, which is UP. So help me understand: is this problem more acute in certain areas
Yes, yes.
in the north?
So it is very much prevalent in UP and West Bengal, where we have most of our survivors.
Okay, okay. So I was thinking this part. I'm very what should I say, aghast by this sale of acid being so freely available, because I know that when there's a clogged drain in the house, it's very easy to get acid as much as you want. And how is that
Yes.
happening without somebody asking me who you are and why you need it for? So I was thinking, can this not become like a project for young people in colleges in the North India and West Bengal to go out and spread this whole thing and tell every hardware store that this is what the law is? And after that, is it not also important for, because I just read up on the side while you were speaking, that local authorities should also do inspections to find out whether the asset is stored properly or not. Are they actually got a certificate for that or not? I mean, it's a governance problem, right? In that way.
Well, there is a Supreme Court rule that acid should not be sold to any minor, and that rule says that there should be a check on acid sale. But trust me, it doesn't happens on ground. There is no check happening on ground. There is no penalty for illegal sale of acid. See, nobody can buy a 5 liter of acid just like that, giving 100 rupees, right? It should not happen, because it can melt away somebody's bone as well. Why I mentioned concentrated acid is very, very harmful. If it is diluted, it won't be that harmful for human flesh. And why do we need acid for cleaning our toilets? We have so many organic things which we make, organic, cleaners we can make from our home, from our kitchen waste. Why do we need acid for, cleaning our toilets and all? So this should not happen. This is what, uh,
Is
uh,
it possible, Pragya, for you to give us like one document? I would definitely want this to get converted into some kind of a program. Like, for example, there are colleges in North India. If their students can be given, because everybody wants these days stuff to do to add to their resume and all that. One, it'll make them aware these are young boys and girls. Second, they can go around. Maybe the hardware shopkeeper also has no idea about the kind of harm that he's actually potentially selling. So if you could give us just, you told us a few things, I've made notes. We could send you a pager and we could work with colleges to make the students actually go and do what you said about this, going down the lane and checking, because this needs a massive effort. I think it needs a massive effort.
absolutely.
Like
If
a campaign.
Yeah, it needs a
a youth
campaign.
if youth of our country they take charge of this, and go to, and see, we have millions of youths in our country. If they take charge of this, and they can go to each shop and ask them not to sell acid, especially the concentrated one, and brief them about the law around the sale of acid. It will be so helpful to prevent these kind of acid attacks around us, happening around us.
You would probably want to put something together on that to, you had an electricity thing?
Yeah.
No worries. I'm
So,
glad the connectivity is still on. We can still talk to you.
Yeah.
yes, and I was thinking of the same. The connectivity is still there, see. So, we would definitely, because having heard you, if we do not do anything about it, I think we sin. So there is something that we should definitely would want to and put something together, and we'll stay in touch with you on that. And thank you so much for coming over. You don't know how much it has moved all of us, because I'm sure each of us are going to talk to at least 25 other people that we meet, and
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
the snowballing effect that we will rely on to actually be able to make an impact. And I'm very serious about this whole campaign with students and colleges, because I have a lot of faith in the youth in this country. They can do things if they want to. All we need is something to just get them triggered to start doing it. So we'll seek your help in actually putting something like that together to make that happen.
Really, zero acid attacks. It should be, that should be the out, because this is a completely preventable thing. There is nothing that you can't stop about this.
Well, it's also a mental health thing, Deepa. So we know, I mean, nobody in there. I have a question, which is a very base level question, Pragya. But the fellow who did it to you, where it's, I mean, did he go behind bars? Did he pay for it in whichever? He
Yes,
can never pay for it.
he got 4.5 years of imprisonment, because down in 2006, when this happened to me, there was no separate law against acid attack. So there, people were put under 326 section, and
Hmm.
that for causing any kind of through hurt, causing any kind of
Yeah.
hurt to any other person. So the uh, uh, j- punishment was not very this thing, but after into 2013, the Supreme Court passed a judgment with and there was a separate section added, which was 326B, which says that attacking someone with any kind of corrosive chemical, uh, uh, for that the punishment would be up to 10 years of imprisonment. So after that, and that is a retrospective judgment. So post that also, there is not much of
Convicting.
I think the electricity must have failed there.
Yeah, yeah.
The, we'll wait for, just let's wait for a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
I was wondering, all of you, those who are listening, and do tell what is it that you think that we can do actually to make a difference to this entire problem, because it's so unfair to have hurt somebody and not done anything about it.
First of all, I think, Sapna, we should change the face of Bodhi Stree. It should include everyone, both the genders, all the genders, LGBT, into the Bodhi Stree session. They must attend,
Yeah,
That
what you're saying is so true, Oliver. I think we should make this as a as the reason why we open it out to everybody, because no discussions are happening, Deepa. So we might as well open it up for everybody to know what's.
That's one thing. And also the people who need to hear this, because the anger issues and the acid throwing, I don't know of women doing this, but it's mostly
Men
men
who
doing
do.
it to women, and those who, so
those who will come and listen also will not be those kind of people
totally.
who are likely to put acid or do any harm.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But at least they'll be
once
aware.
we open the debate, the sensitivity to the topic
True.
is widespread. And whatever we are doing, every month we are taking up a new topic, a new aspect, and those aspects need to be publicized. And regarding that mental health, we must say that like people are vindictive towards their this thing, so we must uh, emphasize that like where we say no means no. So here we can have some kind of thing that these things can also happen, but one should refrain from that. No, but this is the psyche of the people, we can't change, but general public we can change
I
those
know,
people.
I
Yeah.
know. So we could probably close the session, Deepa, and you could, yeah.
I think Pragya ji's just come back in.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry. I don't know how it got disconnected.
No problem. It can happen. We were just
That's
discussing, Pragya, how, how affected everyone was, how it's got everyone thinking, and what all of us can do to help in this. The floor is open. Please ask questions. If you don't have a question, you want to say something to Pragya, please do that. Unmute yourself. Show us, we'd like to see you, and please say
So
something.
we have a friend of Dr. Keswani here. Jaya Naik is a friend of Dr. Keswani, and a group of doctors have recently done a huge campaign for skin donation, and Jaya was a part of it. So I just wanted to mention that, so that Dr. Keswani also hears from Jaya how he's got discussed as being the inspiration behind the
He knows
Atijeevan.
that. He knows that. I keeps on talking to him always about it.
Great. So I think we could close that, and there'll be a lot of different things, Pragya, we would be doing now, having heard you out today. And one of them probably could be also opening these sessions out for men to also come and listen in, because I guess everybody needs to listen in. Aditi, you have something on your mind?
Sapna,
Yes,
Pragya,
Jaya.
Pragya, you're absolutely an inspiration. In fact, I have no questions. I'm absolutely dumbstruck, and I feel the only thing that I am now, as Sapna said, that we need to do and create more awareness about this. Nothing else. I think people
On a
need to
war
know.
footing. On a war
Yes,
footing.
yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and God bless you. We
Thank
are
Sapna,
all with
one
you.
last thing I want to say.
Hmm.
Should I?
Yes.
uh,
Yes, please.
Years ago, myself, my husband, and my father-in-law, we have donated our body to a
The
foundation
DT
called
Foundation.
Dadichi Foundation. So whosoever is present here, not only skin, 27 parts of, there are different 27 uh, parts of the body which can be used after death, not like brain dead or anything. And they have to be harvested within 6 hours of the death.
you.
So if we take proactive steps beforehand and There, AIMS has Orbo, and many, all hospitals have an organ donation, this thing. So one can just go and donate. So this is a good point, and we as educated persons must take it forward. Thank you.
I'm sure you will. And what a beginning to 2024 Bodhi Stree Dialogues has been. Could it have been better and more inspiring? So thank you yet again, Pragya. You must have heard it an umpteen number of times. It is always led.
True. Over to you,
Uh,
Aditi. And Pragya,
I,
yes,
I,
would like
I,
to say
I would
something.
just like to say one thing, if it is okay. I am sorry
Yes,
for being a
please.
little.
No, no
It
problem.
just came to my mind right now, Pragya. Your story is just, I mean, I'm dumbstruck, I'm speechless. But one point that you raised was really pertinent, that we must visit, local shops and understand that how they are, selling acid. And it just came to my mind that the way our consumption is happening these days in our daily lives of acid. Let me point this out. We have these urban company people coming in and cleaning our bathrooms and home spaces and everything. And in years, for the first time this year, I got them to come and clean my bathrooms because I thought they were beyond now. And the man just told me that I asked him if he was using some, expensive products or something like that. And he said, no, it's just a very cheap bottle of acid. It's only the instruments that we have.
Yeah.
And then he showed me that regular bottle of acid. It just struck to me right now, which is very cheaply available.
20
And these,
rupees per liter.
exactly. And these people, so I had never thought of it in this term, in these terms, Pragya, that I always thought about it in the terms of nature because I am an enthusiast there. So I thought this is all going into nature and this is, harming our environment. But now when I have heard you today, I feel, my God, this is something that we must consciously understand, that what we are indirectly contributing towards. I mean, we need to find ways. This is what the
And
man
it
told
is,
me, showed me.
so I will add two things here. See, this acid is not only harmful for people around us, it is harmful for our own family members. I have two cases where the child, thinking it's a Coke or it's a cold drink kind of, thing, has drank that acid. And I have two children, who are still struggling to eat something because they had gone through certain kind of they drank it and gone through a couple of surgeries and all. Second thing, it can be used as I have a lady who was made drink this acid uh, in 2015, yeah. And today, till today, she cannot eat food like we do, right? For the initial 3 years, there was a pipe put into her stomach, and how she was being fed. Later, now she can only have semi solid, like liquid kind of food. So it's the story of her life. So it's not only accidental, it accidentally it can happen to anyone. Somebody who in anger can do immediately if acid is available in your own house, like the husband can, what he did. And also that concentrated acid, we have so many organic items and more cheaper which we can make out of our kitchen waste. Then why to buy even that, uh, you know to use it, which is also not good for our nature.
So, Aditi, since you are in a college, do you think that idea which I gave should work? About college youth should actually pick this up as a campaign. You're one of those influential professors at Indore. So, is
Yeah,
that
in
an idea
fact, I had already thought about this, that, and given the subject that I teach, I'll certainly take this up.
you do ethics? So,
Minister.
So I think Pragya will be able to do something and we'll come to you for help. We'll need support, we'll need
Absolutely,
documents.
absolutely. Anything
Let's,
for this,
yeah, but let's make a small beginning. We'll try it out with campuses that we are aware of, with the leadership or with professors, and then probably take it onwards from there so that at least something comes out of your having spared this time for us to develop this perspective, which is what Bodhi Stree is all about. You know, we never looked at acid. We'll never look at acid the same way now. Seriously. Anyway, I think we've taken much more of your time than we'd asked for it. So we just thank you yet again and say thank you so much for coming over, Pragya.
thank you.
Such
Thank you so
such a
much.
pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.